It's time once again to go racing.
It does not get any better than this.
The pressure is really on now.
Yes, it's pole position. Lights out and we're racing in PSGL.
The first lap has been absolute chaos.
What an overtake.
Oh no!
I've never seen anything like it.
Side by side again. This will be settled right at the end.
Everybody, and welcome along to PSGL Season 30. We are at round number 9 for the Dutch Grand Prix in Zandvoort. Welcome back after our break week, and this is the PC F2 side. My name is Jess, one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. King Kodiak is on holiday this week, so I hope he has a good one. But I am not alone this week. Joining me in the commentary box is someone that you will probably recognise, is PSF1 commentator Luke Etheridge. Luke, how you doing?
I'm very well, Jess. Good evening to you. Good evening to everyone watching at home. We've not travelled too far from where we were at a couple of weeks ago before the break week. We were at Belgium then. Tonight we're at Zandvoort, but two very different tracks. Belgium, extremely high speed, fairly easy to overtake. Netherlands, there's only really one opportunity into turn number 1, so this could be an extremely important qualifying session.
It is as well. First used in Formula 1 during the pre-Formula 1 era in 1948, but there was quite a few people that held the record for the most wins at the Dutch Grand Prix. Jim Clark being one of them as well, having won at Zandvoort on 4 occasions in the 1960s. Jackie Stewart took his 26th win here, and there was some dreadful incidents back in the time, which obviously we can't talk about. It has hosted 30 races so far, and last year hosted the inaugural Formula 1 race in the hybrid era around there as well, and it had a certain Max Verstappen win that race as well. So quite a few changes to the F2 lineup for the rest of the season. Thomas Ronhaar is moved to PCF1, as you may know, so he's no longer in the McLaren. Replacing him in the McLaren tonight is Fedkov, and we got quite a few changes which we'll go through in just a little moment's time. But apart from Ronhaar, we have a certain Simon Peregni leading the championship by just 7 points to Luke Smith. We got Duncan Hoffland in third. Rupert Virginia is in fourth. Carter Lundy doing well on his F2 promotion in fifth position. Then we got Tom Martinez, Philip Camper, Joost Noordijk, Jack West, and many, many more. Those are championship standings as well. Peregni didn't score too well in the last couple of races, but he can show that he can take it amongst the big guns, and he did quite well in F1 as well in the last couple of ones, so we'll see what he could do here tonight here in the F2 League.
Yeah, we will see what he can do. It'll be interesting, seeing how the different people move around, how they cope. Also, people coming over from PlayStation for the first time. Max Wiesel, who I'm familiar with commentating on the PS F1. He's trying, I think, might be his first race on the PC. We've got Ryan Jacobs doing one of his first races on the PC, also known as Dark Killer from the Xbox side of things. So a few drivers. Be interested to see how they cope. Zandvoort, maybe not the easiest circuit to start off with, if we're being honest. It is quite a technical track, despite being very short. Does pack a lot of corners into that. You really need to have confidence in your car. It's a narrow circuit as well. It's definitely got that old school feel that can really punish you if you get things wrong.
Yeah, and it's quite overcast at the moment as well, which is probably not ideal for some of the drivers. And let's just actually go through who is racing tonight. So in the Aston Martin, of course, we've got Carter Lundy. He is back with us. We've got obviously Max Wiesel, like you said, in the AlphaTauri. He's replacing Jeffrey Ritchie, who can't make it tonight. I believe Jeffrey Ritchie is doing challenges tonight on the PC side. Best of luck to him. We got Jack West in the Williams. We got Jordan Poland in the Ferrari, one of the drivers who recently qualified for the Pro Exhibition for qualifying in the top 6 in the challenges. So congratulations to him. We got Luke Smith in the Alpine, Jack Labadie in the Haas, Simon Peregni in the Alfa Romeo. I always can't pronounce his name to save my life, but anyway, Jonah Martins in the Alfa Romeo as well. We've got Joost Noordijk and Doug Knopfler in the Mercedes, both also qualified to the Pro Exhibition as well. We got Norbert Jakob in the Ferrari. We got Soko, another driver who came from the PlayStation, his second race on the PC side in the Williams. He's now a full-time driver, so well done to him. We got Andre Tarabukin also in the Williams. Sam Corby is in the Red Bull. Nice to see him back. We got another reserve tonight. I can't remember who he's filling in for. I think it's Danny Lusink. It is Istvan Pukki. Istvan, but I can't say his name. I do apologise. We got Ryan Jacobs in the Red Bull. He is replacing Tom Martinez. We got Ruben Virginia in the McLaren, Svetkov in the McLaren as well, and Oscar Gullikamper in the Aston Martin. So we got a few people about to start their laps already as well. And the first sector especially can be a bit of a handful. In turn 4, we seen that last night in PCF1. They can take a variety of different lines through there.
Yeah, the bank nature of the corner. Do you go higher and take a really late apex to try and get a good run? It is a possibility to maybe, get an overtake done as long as you get it completed before you get towards turn number 7. Because if you're trying to do it before, then if you're trying to do it into turn number 7, it is very likely that things will end quite badly for you. And you've got these long sequence of right-hand corners that really do put pressure on the tyres through 7, 8 and 9. Then the left-hander into turn 10. Crucial that you get that corner right. It does lead to a DRS, though. You are going to be brave, though, to go for an overtake, I think, into that chicane. That chicane-like corners at 11 and 12.
Yeah, exactly. Norbert Jakob just gone past. So he's one of the first people to set a lap time. We got one of the Aston Martin set a lap time first, as well as Duncan Offlin, 109.6 for him. Norbert Jakob comes across the line in P2. We've got the other Mercedes of Joost Noordijk. He's up to the line now. Let's see what he could do. It's just a banker lap time of 114.8, just to get a bit of a feel for the track, and it would help if I get the tyres up at the moment. Quite a few people on the medium compound of tyres. Let's see. I believe it's not Carter Lundy. It is his teammate, Oscar Villacamper. He goes up to the line as well. Let's see what he could do. P6 as well. I think more people on the mediums had expected, but since the softs don't last very long around here, not surprised that they want to have a lot of soft tyres to their disposal. We've got Soko up to the line, and that is P4 for him so far. Some good time on the board so far on the medium compound tyres. I think we saw a lot of people in the 109s last night on the PC side. The cut-off time, I think, was a 109.6 for Q2, I believe. I didn't catch what was after that. But, yeah, it was quite close there. And I expect to see those times quite close tonight. It is a short qualifying session, completely different to PCF1. And it may rain. You never know, but we don't know what the weather's going to be like here. It's Carter Lundy. That is a good lap time already off the bat. 109.5 as a banker lap time. I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, very, very good from Carter Lundy there. Of course, did get a bit of a tryout yesterday in PCF1. He seems to have stepped it up completely, I think, over the last few weeks. Really grabbed the opportunity he's had in PCF2 with both hands. Earned himself a shot in F1. Probably wouldn't be surprised to see him a few more times this season in that division. And yeah, at the moment, he is 35 points off of Peregni. He's 62 off Thomas Ronhaar, who we don't believe will be taking part in this anymore, as he is now full-time in F1. So, winning the championship, probably a bit too far for Carter Lundy, but given the fact that he missed the first 4 races, he's done a brilliant job. Great lap by Tarabukin as well, 1:10.0 on that set of the medium tyres. You've got to think that if he gets an opportunity on the soft tyres, he's going to be up towards the top of the order as well. Luke Smith heading towards the finish line on the softs.
Wow.
And he takes provisional pole position, 109.566, 12 thousandths of a second faster than Carter Lundy. So as you would expect, things extremely close at the moment. The top 14 driver, well, all the 14 drivers that have set a normal lap time are within a second of each other.
Yeah, that is pretty incredible to say the least. I think we could expect to see, quite a few people going out again as well to go even better. We haven't seen Simon Peregni yet do his lap time on the softs. I think he could go up there, likes of Sam Corby as well. And I think we were discussing a few weeks ago with Chris Buxton about the fact that changing platforms last minute can be very, very hard, especially if you find it hard to get used to, but we've seen Soko do very well a few weeks ago, and Ryan Jacobs, obviously, I don't think I've seen him on PC at all, so he's out in the pits at the moment, and he also qualified into the Challengers on the Xbox side. I believe he finished P2 in that, so well done to him as well. So we've got Ruben Pedreño who's next on a lap. There is some yellow flags everywhere, just people moving out the way. So going through to this next DRS zone as well. Running a little bit wide there, so he's not looking too good on towards the start of Sector 3. We're going through to the LDSs now. That is what we like to call the chicane. Don't bother asking us how to pronounce these next set of corners, because I know there's some Dutch people watching in the chat in their thousands, and they'll probably complain if we pronounce it wrong. So we're not going to say the proper names of corners. So Ruben Pedreño up to the line he goes in the McLaren seat. 109.3. I thought this was Ruben Pedreño, not Thomas von Haar. He seems to be inheriting Thomas von Haar's traits and being a McLaren on pole position there. Maybe he's learnt from his old teammate there.
Yeah, someone check that McLaren. Someone check what kind of performance it's doing at the moment, because that is absolutely brilliant lap by Ruben Pedreño. Might just be the track cleaning up slightly. Zandvoort being next to the beach, as you can see as they come through some of the corners. It's quite a bit sandy at times offline, so perhaps not surprising that the track is cleaning up a bit more. I'm not sure too much how the game simulates that, but you would expect the track to clean up anyway throughout the session. But still a very good lap by Ruben Pedreño. Despite being a short track, he's managed to bunch 14 corners into quite a short bit of track, so there is definitely an opportunity to see bigger gaps around here than you'd see at other short circuits like Austria, for example, maybe even Monza being such a fairly simple circuit. But yeah, good job there at the moment by Ruben Pedreño, fastest of everyone, and we'll see what the effective championship leader Simon Perenier can do on his first run of the session with 10 minutes remaining.
Yeah, he doesn't have long left at all, so maybe he wasn't very confident at the start of the session, but he's already purple in Sector 2, but I think I've just seen someone go even quicker on their lap time, so I think someone is probably going to stop Simon Perenier. You never know. I didn't see what his first sector was at the moment. Heading towards the banking, do not use overtake there on the banking, as I found that in practice for a race on Tuesday. Absolutely binned it. But anyway, Perenier up to the line, and that is only P6 for now, but still obviously a few tenths separating between himself, Jack West, Duncan Offland, Carter Lundy and Luke Smith. Obviously Ruben Pedreño's time is absolutely incredible at the moment, but let's see. I think Svetkov is on a lap. Yes, he is on a lap. He's 3 tenths quicker than his previous best, puts him into P9. Pretty respectable lap time from him. And we also got Oscar Villacampa. Was he on a lap? Yes, he was on a lap, but he was a bit slower there as well, so unfortunately you'll get to go again. Probably he binned it, maybe turn 7 and 8, quite easy to get yourself caught out in the gravel trap with 2 understeer. Tower Bukin, P2, Soko P3, so they seem to be finding the times out there as well in the Alpine and the Williams cars as well. So maybe the track is starting to evolve a lot quicker than you might expect around here due to how short the lap, as Luke was talking about at the moment. It's crucial that you get there nice and quickly as well. Lots of yellow flags going everywhere, which doesn't help Duncan on his lap at the moment, but he's heading towards, I think, is he backing off? Yeah, he's backing off there, I think, so he may go into the pits very, very shortly. But 8 minutes to go. Ruben Pedreño on pole, Andre Tarabukin in second, Soko in third, Smith in fourth, Carter Lundy in fifth. Those two are starting their outlaps. And it is Joost Noordijk that just pushes his teammate down to 7th, and Joost in 6th position. And we've got Jack West in 8th, Perenier in 9th, and Jordan Putland rounds up your top 10 at the moment. Everyone is pretty much within a second, unless you're the likes of Jack Laverty, Corby or Ryan Jacobs. Everybody else could get pole position here, as long as you do not make a mistake. This is going to get very, very exciting.
Yeah, Luke, Max Wiesel's got himself up into 5th. Oscar Villacampa was briefly up into 6th place. He's now been pushed down. Istvan Puki comes across the line. He improves time-wise, does not improve position-wise. So the Haas stays in 50th position for this moment in time. I think Jonah Martin's coming through the first sector as well, the WOR driver. He's about a quarter of a second up, and those bottom 3 that have set a time, Martins, Laverty and Sam Corby, are slightly isolated at the moment. They're a bit far off the pack, so they'll be hoping to get themselves further up the order. You can make the alternate strategy work around this track. It's going to be hard to do that, though, if you're starting 16th, 17th and 18th, of course.
do possibly have a driver that is going to be joining us for the rest of the race. Paris Burrow is racing, I believe, as well. So great to have him back. But anyway, Jonah Martins, he's got a bit of a toe and he's binned it. The first person to bin it in this qualifying session. Lost his front wing, and I said that you do not want to go full power too early on in the bank. And guess what? Someone has completely binned it. So yeah, that is their qualifying session done and dusted. Luke Smith, unfortunately, could not improve on his time, so he remains in P4. It's just a lot of people seem to be losing time in that final sector. It seems they're not just hooking the lap together at the moment. Jack Larity, he's taking the same line as I've seen other people do as well. 1:09.8 though, but 6/10 quicker than his previous best, puts him in P15 as well. And the last person into the 1:09 at the moment. The next closest person on the lap is one of the Ferraris, which is Jordan Poland, but he's on his in-lap, so he'll be going into the pits. So Ruben Pedreño is the only one on a lap right now in the McLaren, as he could be the first person maybe to try and get into the 109.1s, because he is getting there. We'll see what his middle sector is like as he heads towards the DRS zone as well. He goes fully on the power at the moment. Oh, he's a few 100s quicker than his previous best, 7 100s quicker as well. So he could get into the 109.3 flats if he's lucky at the moment, as he heads towards the banking now as well, turn 14. So can he get a miraculous final sector to produce the best qualifying lap of his life? He does not. He baits us and he goes into the pits, Luke.
Yeah, just saw his ERS light start flashing there, suggesting that he had backed off right at the last minute. So obviously not happy. I think the one out of turn 11 and 12, I think he had a little bit of a slide on the rear tyres, so decided it's not worth carrying on. Thought he might as well come into the pits. Sam Corby, we're quite a bit off at the moment. We know he loves the alternate strategy, so I can't imagine he's going to be too happy about the new rules for the 2022 F1 season, of course, where everyone gets a free choice of tyre, but Sam having to back off on his previous lap. He is currently about 1.2 seconds off of pole position, but that is, unfortunately for him, 18th position. And the drivers, some of them going a bit earlier on, of course, trying to get themselves a bit of clear air. We've already seen how difficult things can be with traffic. I think Suku's just backed off on his lap, so we're not going to see any improvement from him. And Vadim Svetkov, he's trying to improve as well, but he's 1.5 tenths down, so wouldn't be too surprised to see the McLaren diving it towards the pit lane. Looks like he is still definitely pushing, though, through turn 13 and 14. And there we go, in the end, invalidated. Straight into the pits he comes. So still Ruben Pedreño leading at the moment. Carter Lundy, I think he'll be heading into the pits on this lap. It's very quiet out there on track all of a sudden. In a few minutes, it's going to get extremely busy for the final 4 minutes of this session.
And the track temperatures are getting quite hot as well. It wasn't as overcast as it was at the beginning of the session then. So times will start to get quicker and quicker as well. So I think people want to go on their laps as soon as possible, just like Matt Biso is at the moment. He put on a very good showing in PSF1 recently as well. Some stellar performances as well. Challenging for the championship as well, but there wasn't many reserves left that wanted to take the place of the people who were racing in challenges tonight. And if there's any PC challenger drivers that are watching the stream back, we wish you the best of luck in your races tonight. The first one's probably already happened at the moment, but Max Biso is kind of using a technique that a lot of the esports drivers like to use, and that is burning fuel on your outlap, going as slow as you possibly can to make sure you get the lowest fuel possible as you start your final lap, which, to be fair, much easier to do when you're on manual gears, because you can just stay at a higher gear for a longer period of time as well, and go slowly if you can as well. So that is what he's going to be doing. I don't think he's going to have time for one final lap, but I think if he sets the lap time, anyone remember what we saw with Lewis Hamilton last year? He set the fastest lap early on in Jeddah, and then Max Verstappen tried to do a lap and couldn't do it. Maybe Max Biso is pulling the same tactic, want to set a lap first, and then people will be more pressure to get a lap and probably start to make more mistakes. Everybody is on lap, apart from Sam Corby, Paris Burrow and Ryan Jacobs. And one of the timing glitch is happening at the moment, where it's people are seeing it an hour behind us, but we will see. But Max Biso on his final lap, we'll see if he could get higher than P6, but still a very respectable lap time on his first race with us on PC.
Yeah, definitely. His racing has been strong, but his qualifying has been fantastic. on the PlayStation platform, to be honest. So not too surprised to see him instantly pick it up on the PC. He's probably, and I don't know the ages of a lot of people, he's probably the oldest man in the field. He has, of course, got real-life racing experience. Unfortunately for him, he's invalidated going through that fast sweeping section at the end of the first sector, so won't be seeing an improvement from him this time around. Let's see what Andrei Tarabukin can do then, the Russian driver, as he heads through Sector 1. Time in split at the moment, half a tenth of a second up, and turn number 7, just a bit of a twitch on the car. And we said this circuit takes no prisoners, straight towards the gravel trap. A lot of these drivers will be glad they've gone out earlier on, because we are seeing plenty of mistakes.
Yeah, they are as well. Remember, George Russell and Nicholas Latifi in Q2, both of them binned it as well on their final runs. Could have been a chance for them to get into Q3 as well, and that brought out the red flag, and that costed quite a few people's laps. Antonio Giovinazzi actually qualified well in real-life Zandvoort as well last year. So we could see something similar here at the moment. Obviously, Max Wiesel has time to go out one final run. That's crucial. So he has one final chance to get it right. Duncan Offland then. He goes up to the line, and it's a 109.5, puts him into P3. Nicely done, says Duncan. We got the Ferrari. One of the Ferraris up to the line. That's Jordan Poland. He slots into P5. We've got the McLaren of Room Badrenia. Can he get pole? Yes, he can. He improved his time to 109.2, and that's, I think, the only time he is going to be setting at this moment in time. Next is Luke Smith, who is currently sitting second in the championship. Can he get higher than that to get pole position? No, but very close to Room Badrenia's time in P2, the highest out of himself and Simon Peregni at the moment. We've got, I think, Joost Noordijk, who is on a lap. Can he get higher than 11th? He does not. They're starting again. Oh yeah, he's starting again, so we've got 10 seconds left to go of this session. And I think, is Sam Corby on a lap? Yes, Sam Corby's on a lap, and he slots himself into P15. And I think it doesn't look like Ryan Jacobs is going to be on the lap. No, but he does not. The checker flag has fallen, and he'll be starting last on the grid. Max Wiesel will be starting 6th.
Yeah, so Max Wiesel will be starting in 6th place. There's a lot of drivers now. I think quite a few of them have finished their laps early on in this session, so I'm not sure how many more brilliant times we're going to get to see. Andrei Tarabukin coming around the final corner, then doesn't need to find much to get himself onto the second row of the grid ahead of Soku, and he manages to do that. An all-Alpine second row of the grid at this moment in time. Who's the next drivers that are heading towards the finish? So we've got one of the Mercedes coming to the pits. That's Duncan Hoffland. Jakob comes across the line, goes into 13th place. I think it's Jack West. He's the next driver. He's backed off on his lap. A lot of these drivers did get their laps done very early on. Joost Noordijk, one of those who didn't, though. So it's pretty much all or nothing for the former PSGL F1 champion on the PS side. He heads towards the line and puts himself up into 8th place, just 7 thousandths of a second behind his teammate. Less than a quarter of a second of pole position. Unfortunately for him, it looks like it is only going to be good enough for 8th place at the moment. I think Sam Corby, he's another one diving into the pits. If any of the Haas cars going to be finishing their lap. Jack Laverty gets himself up into 13th. Istvan Pukki stays in 17th. That could well be it for this qualifying session, I think. Simon Peregni, he's on his way back into the pits. It looks like Pedreno is on pole.
Yep, he is, by just under a few hundredths of a second, which is between himself and Carter Lundy as well, who beat Luke Smith's time. And just look at how close them two have been at the moment as well. And yeah, you were talking about this earlier. The championship's far from over for Carter Lundy. We've got some decent tracks coming up as well in the PlayStation and the PC calendar, which could challenge some of the drivers. And Carter Lundy is a big fan of some of those tracks as well. So I am very intrigued to see what he could do in this race as well. And obviously, if you qualify high in Zandvoort, expect to do well unless you bin it. 6th in the championship he is on 30 points. So yes, not that far. And it only takes a few drivers in front of him to have bad results for him to be pretty much in championship contention. We've got Zandvoort this week, Brazil next week, then we've got Mexico, Singapore, USA, Imola, and then with the final round will be in Bahrain for round 15. But we'll go through your results here at the moment. So Room Badreno on pole position, Carter Lundy in second by just 3 100ths of a second, Luke Smith in third, and then it's Andrei Tarabukin, Soko, Max Wiesel, Duncan Offland, Joost Noordijk, Jack West, Simon Beregni round up your top 10. They'll be starting on the Socon by the tyres. Free choice of tyres go to Jordan Poland, Oscar Villacampa, Jack Laverty, Norbert Jakob, Svedkov, Sam Corby, Isfan, Jonah Martins, Paris Burrell, they were the ones. Jonah Martins set a lap time, but Paris Burrell and Ryan Jacobs did not set a lap time in this session. We're about to go into the race. The drivers haven't told us what the weather's going to be like, Luke, so we're going to be in for an absolute surprise here in Europe once again. But I don't know who's going to win this race, but it looks to be odds-on favourites for Ruben Pedreño. I'm looking at the standings. He has not won a race this season in F2. He's got second place in France for the French Grand Prix. And then that was it. He was mainly getting 4 or 5 points after that. So he really needs to do well to get a good result here at Zandvoort. But he has a chance. He's going to be leading the forward field away. And for the drivers, luckily, it is going to be a dry session.
Yeah, and of course that is, best place to be here. We've already spoke about Zandvoort. It's not the longest one towards turn 1, so it is a perfect opportunity to, for Ruben Pedreño to get his first win and also extend relief McLaren. I've got in the Constructors' Championship 128 points at the moment for the Woking-based team. Alpine are second on 73, Alfa Romeo 67 points to Mercedes on 64. So for that second place, it is really close. Just looks like McLaren are running away with it at the moment, and with Pedreño on pole position, could be something similar tonight.
Yes, indeed. And before we go on to the formation lap, we'll just have a quick mention of our sponsor, Grid Rival. And we have our own F1 2022 Fantasy League as well, which you could get paid prize money at the end of it if you win. You can check the affiliate link in the description to find out a bit more information about that as well. And next round will be Australia actually as well, so plenty of time to get in your predictions on who you think will do well for the Australian Grand Prix. premiersimgl.com/Grid Rival. Thank you for all of your support. So we're now going to go straight into the race and find out what tyres people have gone for the race session at the moment. And according to everybody, quite a bit of a shock. I thought there would be a even split, but Jonah Martins and Ryan Jacobs have gone for something out of the norm here. They have gone for the soft tyres. Everybody else outside the top 10 have gone for the mediums. What would you say will be the strategy around this? Soft, medium, do you think?
Yeah, I think that's what everyone will be trying to do. There's always a risk of a safety car. The walls aren't too far away at a few points, and it is very easy to make contact. So if there's a safety car, I think obviously that pushes the life of the tyres out a bit more. Not too surprised, to be honest, that out of everyone outside the top 10, for someone to go for the set of soft tyres, that Jonah Martins did that. He set his best lap in qualifying on a set of the mediums, so we didn't really get to see what kind of pace he's got. So maybe he's thinking that he just needs to work his way through the field in the early stages and see what he can do later. As I swear, the brake marker board has already gone on the way down towards turn 11, which will please absolutely no one.
Yes, because there's no assist in this lead for the top PlayStation tiers. I think all the PlayStation tiers have most of them have no line as well, which won't help them one bit as the drivers are ready to take onto the grid once again. It was 35 years ago since Niki Lauda took his 25th and final Grand Prix victory here at Zandvoort, coming from 10th on the grid. Peregni comes from 10th on the grid. Will he be able to repeat what Niki Lauda did 35 years ago? And we're going to see quite a few overtakes. Indeed, only one DRS zone, two DRS zones, one between the start finish and turn 1, and one between turn 10 and 11. But anyway, 5 red lights coming on for PCF2. And we are underway. Let's see what everyone looks like on the start. Looks like a pretty even start from both the drivers, but Ruben Pedreño gets a brilliant run towards turn 1. It's quite an understeery part of the track at the moment, but looks like everyone's making it really, really clear. Watch out for turn 3 coming up now. I think we're starting to see a few mistakes from some people. Simon Peregni up into 7th place already, so he's had a stalking start so far. Luke Smith has got the overtake done on Cartolandi on the inside, up into P2, and he's already on the back, chasing Ruben Pedreño as well. Let's see what it's like in the back as well. Norbert Jakob has not had the best of starts, and he's out of the race before it's even begun, and we've got a virtual safety car.
Yeah, virtual safety car. I'm not sure what happened there. Sam Corby dropped a couple of places in all of that, so whether there's been contact between him and Norbert Jakob. But yeah, it was just a great start from Luke Smith around the outside into turn number 1 on Cartolandi. Looked as though he was thinking about attacking Ruben Pedreño, but that corner just not long enough for him to do that. Duncan Hoffland getting ahead of his fellow VSR driver Andrei Tarabukin just before that virtual safety car came out, so that is good news for him. And Jonah Martin's gaining 4 places on lap 1 on that fresh set of soft tyres. He's got Jack West just up ahead of him, who's not had the greatest start of the race. So, be interesting to see how things go at the moment. But yeah, Ruben Pedreno in the lead. Luke Smith in second place. And the driver's just weaving, trying to get a bit of heat in their tyres, maybe trying to dummy some pit stops as both Mercedes on their way into the pits. I wonder whether they're trying to get a bit of a cheap pit stop here, but this could really backfire if the virtual safety car ends roundabout now.
It does end now. It's a bit early for pit stops, and it wasn't for damage, so I wonder if we're going to have some cheeky weather situations going on. That's probably why they were thinking about pitting nice and early, but they're at the back of the grid as well, which is not ideal, but I know some people have got damage, but definitely not the 2 Mercedes drivers as well, so that could throw a spanner in the works as well. We were expecting it to be a dry race throughout, but anything can happen in Formula 1. It usually does. It's set to approximate. The drivers are not lucky for it to be a completely dry session. It's all dynamic, of course. In PCF1, it's completely clear due to the amount of rain that PCF1 has experienced throughout the entire season. I felt very, very bad for them, to be honest, at the moment. But we're starting to see quite a few people making some ground. Simon Bregni, due to the pit stops of the 2 Mercedes, is now up into 6th place. Soko is up into 4th place. He's having a good start from where he was on the grid as well. And Jordan Poland doing the best out of the medium runners in 8th position with Oscar Villacampa in 9th. We are seeing the Alfa Romeo of Simon Bregni trying to get around the inside of Andre Talbukin there in turn 1, it looked like, but he couldn't quite do it. But DRS will be activated, so as soon as they get into the turn 11 complex, that is when they can start to see the main overtakes happen as well. And we've already seen the varying lines of turn 4 already. They're just wanting to get as many advantages as they possibly can as well. But you don't want to take too many varying lines because you may lose so much confidence going through these next set of corners, through turn 5, 6 and 7 especially. A few people can change their lines, and for some of the drivers from yesterday, it did not go very well indeed. I think Peretti is actually going to be the one closest to make a move then. He goes to the left-hand side as well. He almost binned it, taking out Andre Talbukin almost with him as we head towards the Audi SN at the start of sector 3. Peretti, I think, next opportunity will be at the start-finish straight then as we head towards this banking here as well. Like I said, do not use ERS here. It will kill you. And he's using it, so he was using it for a little bit. He's probably followed my advice there a little bit, using it on the straight as well. We're starting to see fastest laps galore here at the moment. Is Simon Bregni going to get the move done into turn 1? No, he does not. Stayed in to P6, but he's looking like he's closing in ever so slightly, but it's not going to be that long before the drivers start to overheat the tyres ever so slightly around here due to how hot this track is.
Yes, certainly, and I think Tarabukin maybe is already struggling with a bit of tyre grip. He's having to use a lot of ERS to try and stay within the all-important DRS range of Soku just ahead of him, and that's maybe what gave Perenier a bit of a chance into turn number 10 last time around. Wasn't able to make it stick, and then with Tarabukin having the DRS down the main straight, that did mean Perenier just has to stay behind. But yeah, both Alfa Romeos having an absolutely really brilliant start to the race for the pair of them. I mean, we've got Perenier's gone up 4 places, Jonah Martins has gone up 8 places at the moment. Now that we've got this DRS train though, it's going to be a bit more difficult to overtake. The top 15 cars are in this train and no one really looking close enough to the car in front of them. So this might lead to earlier pit stops from those on the soft tyres. Regarding the 2 Mercedes drivers, I don't think Duncan Hoffland had any damage. I think that was just trying something different on the strategy. Joost Noordijk though lost some time in the pits because of the double stack, lost some time from the VSC ending. I think he did also have to change his front wing. We saw things get quite messy early on in the race, so he's now sort of abandoned off the back of the pack. Definitely not what we're used to seeing from reigning Challengers champion on the PS, and or still the reigning PSF1 champion here in PSGL as well. He's had a bit of a tougher transition to PC than I think some of the drivers perhaps would have expected him to have, but he's still a very quick man indeed. Cartalundi on the back of Luke Smith. He's very close to the back of that Alpine, but as long as Luke Smith's got DRS and keeps it clean through 13 and 14 and through turn number 10, it's going to be very difficult for the Canadian to get any moves done.
Yeah, he is quite a promising young talent at the moment as we got another retirement. That's turn 8 and 9, I believe, that Paris Bowl has lost it, and we've got a full course safety car. So that will bring the soft runners into a free pit stop contention but they may be thinking about a different strategy. They may be thinking going on to the hards will be a better option than the mediums, or will these drivers choose to stay out? I won't have a clue what these drivers are going to do, but I would take the free pit stop at the end of the day, so I do not have to pit again. But anyway, Rubinho is in, Luke Smith is in, Lundy, Soko, Taubuki. Most people are going in. The only drivers that are staying out are the ones obviously on the mediums, Jordan Poland, Svetkov as well, but I thought they would have gone on to the hard compounded tyres. Everyone actually is going for mediums, it sounds like, so proving my theory wrong completely. So they think the mediums could get to the end from here, but the safety car pace is quite small in pit lane loss time in comparison into the usual pit lane loss time as well. So you'll lose less time in the safety car pit stops than normal, so that's probably why they've done so, and a lot less tyre wear as well. So we will see Jordan Poland will be leading the rest of the field away, but it is Rubinho that's got a cheeky free pit stop at this as well. Ryan Jacobs, I'm surprised he hasn't gone for a stop yet. Maybe he thinks the mediums can't get to the end, or maybe he thinks something else could happen, or maybe he thinks there'll be another safety car, but he can't bet his money on that. He's got to maybe think about going to the pits now, because those softs are not going to last for the entire race.
No, they're not. I did see him disconnect in qualifying, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not 100% sure he actually managed to get back in after the disconnection in qualifying. So maybe that's his AI just slightly messing him up at the moment, which is a bit of a shame for him. Interestingly, we did see a couple of drivers come into the pits off the medium tyres. Vierkamper and Pookie have gone for a set of hards. Laverty has gone for a set of the soft tyres. They might be coming in this lap again to put on a fresh set of mediums, because of course that will fulfill the requirement in Formula 1 that you've got to use 2 different types of dry tyre. And I have seen drivers get these mediums around 30 laps around this circuit when there has been an early safety car. That is what the likes of Pedreno, Smith, Lundy have got to do on this occasion. So it's definitely possible for them to do that. They might be struggling for pace at the end of the race. So it's going to be an intriguing one to work out, as Vierkamper gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not ideal at all. That will likely get added onto his race time at the end.
Yes, it will, and as I found out on the race on Tuesday, it is quite easy to speed in the pit lane around Zandvoort as well, because you have a car right behind you in a safety car trying to keep to the speed as well, and it just doesn't work, really, to be honest. And if you have a safety car penalty at the moment, you're going to lose so much time at the end of it, because I don't think he's going to pit again, so yes, 5 seconds will be added to that. So, top 3 still yet to stop. Same with Ryan Jacobs. Everybody else, realistically, can get to the end, but it's going to be very, very tough for them as well. Anything can happen, of course. Quite a few things have happened in real life with safety cars around this track, and also in PSGL in the future as well. And I know in F2, in PS, there used to be quite a lot of rain in many of the races I have commentated as well, and that can bring up quite a few safety cars as well. And there was some time where it was a 1, 2, 3 in Ferrari on track as well around Zandvoort. We're seeing a Ferrari in P1, McLaren in P2, Red Bull in P3. Different constructors and engine manufacturers in the top 3, but safety car is in this lap then. Everyone has caught up quite quickly, and it'll be Jordan Poland to lead the field away. What would he do? Would he go as soon as heading towards the start-finish straight, or would he be waiting quite late to go for the restart? Well, he's got to think about it soon to do the restart, so we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do. I think he might be leaving it a bit later at the moment, just to try and ensure that he's not giving Svetkov that long tow down the straight, and he's going to have to go sooner rather than later, because we're nearly at the finish line. And there we go, that has really bunched up the field behind, and Jordan Poland still trying to get some heat into those older medium tyres. Pedreno thinking about going all the way around the outside of Sam Corbett at the moment. That's going to give him the inside for the next point, and he gets to move on, and that could be crucial for Pedreno, because it's going to be hard for Smith, Lundy and some of these others to get the moves done. Lundy trying it all the way around the outside at turn number 3 now. There's been a contact between him and Luke Smith. He gets that moved on. Will that leave Smith vulnerable to an attack from behind by Olaf Soku? Doesn't look like it. On this occasion, the AI car of Ryan Jacobs dropping down the field. Joost Noordijk's been involved in an incident as well. This home Grand Prix is going absolutely disastrously for him at the moment, as Jacobs again tumbles down the field, and now Perenier having to move down the inside of Soku. Soku will have the inside line for turn number 10, of course, but I think the Alfa Romeo has managed to hold that one off all the way around the outside. We're seeing seeing more drivers choose to go the long way round rather than the conventional way around Zandvoort, but it has always been a tough track to overtake, and you've always got to think about your own moves as Carter Lundy and Luke Smith getting very close together. A bit of wheel banging between them, and all this is doing is allowing the front four to escape.
Yeah, it is as well. If they keep battling like that, who knows what's going to happen in PC F2 at the moment, as we're seeing quite a few people derailing across the line already. That's how much they've been pushing right now. Simon Brady is in the picture now for pretty much a net race lead at this moment in time, or net P2, because of Ruben Pedreño trying to pull away as well. Simon Brady is having the race of his life right now. He's benefited from the safety car, and due to those two battling, it's helped him ever so slightly, pretty much more than ever so slightly as well. So he's probably got the box of his seat right now. He's probably in the cinema watching those two fighting for their lives, and if those two go into contact with them, then maybe Brady will do a Hulkenberg. See you later. You never know. No DRS activated on this lap though. Don't forget, it will be enabled next lap, but we will see. I think Pirelli using his medium tyres to his fruition as well. Ruben Pedreño is doing all he can to try and get past Redkov into P2. The top two, I would say, on the mediums, doing a stellar job trying to hold back from everybody else, as Jack West has been passed by Andre Tarambukin. I think he got ghosted there through the LDS, so that's not ideal as well. So he's lost a bit of ground as well from his rivals as well, but he's still going to get points where he is at the moment. Top 10 in PSGL, PCF2. Do he score points? It looks like Jack West was going to get the move done into turn number 1. Ruben Pedreño gets past his teammate up into P2, heading towards turn 3 at the moment, which is a very steep banking. And turn 4 they come as well. Again, very tight. Jack West, he hasn't got enough chance to use the DRS because there's only a few braking zones around here, as I've noticed around this track, so not too much time to pretty much recharge. So if you've been battling throughout the whole of this time, you've got to think of ways to recharge your ERS and fast.
Yeah, it's very difficult to recharge your ERS as that goes Carter Lundy down the inside of Sam Corby, who's going to try and fight this back, but on the older tyres, it might be difficult to do so. So that is Carter Lundy now up into 4th place, but 1.3 seconds off the back of Ruben Pedreño, and he's got Pedreño's teammate for tonight, Vadim Svetkov, to try and negotiate past as well. What happened with Jack West and Tarambukin on the previous lap? It was actually West went for a move on the around the outside of 11. That gave him the inside for 12. They did hop over the curb. That caused the game to ghost him, and that allowed Tarambukin to just get away. Definitely looked like he did have the pace. Now that he's clipping on his ERS, that might give Jonah Martins a chance to go the long way round into turn number 1. Here comes the Alfa Romeo driver. We saw him pull off some moves earlier on in this race. I don't know if he's going to be able to make this one work though. West gets a bit of a slide on those medium tyres. And there we go. Jonah Martins is back up into the top 10, having started in 18th. There's still 3 drivers ahead of him who've got to come back into the pits. This has been a brilliant performance from Martins.
Yeah, it is as well. And Martins have been very, very unlucky in the last few races I've seen on the PC side as well. He's found his form now and again, but there is some times where he's just got unlucky. He may have tried a little bit of risks that didn't pay off for him, but the risks he's doing tonight is working wonders. He's doing moves that possibly I can't do around Zandvoort, as Luke Smith has passed Sam Corby and also tried to defend of Simon Bregley as well. So Luke Smith is now going to challenge Carter Lundy once again for P2 of this race. I wonder if he's going to have a much better attempt than the last couple of laps as well. But Luke Smith is kind of looking for consistency in this league. He is ahead of his main championship rival, just behind him as well, but that could be an interesting fight as well. So let's see, where is Simon Bregley now? He's still right on the back of him. We see Soka almost getting past Sam Corby there. Duncan Hoffland gets past Jack West. Jack Laverty gets past his teammate. Still going the long way around once again. We also got Duncan Hoffland still going side by side, heading towards turn number 4, which he does. Yellow flag, that is Jack West out of this race. So not as the way he would like to return to league racing after a break week, and that's just before turn number 4. And once again, we do have a safety car, and I have to say, I don't know what I would do here, but if you haven't pitted yet, would you go on a set of hard tyres?
Oh, I mean, the field's pretty bunched up, so I don't think you're going to lose a lot for maybe coming in, putting on a set of the hard or soft tyres for a lap, and then coming back in for a set of the medium tyres. I did catch the tail end of what happened to Jack West, and it looked like there was a bit of Bit of wheel banging between himself and Duncan Hoffland, which sent West over the curb. 900 horsepower from these Formula 1 cars. Unsurprisingly, you don't get too much traction on a curb or grass. That sent him spinning around. And unfortunately for Jack West, he went off towards the barrier, so it will be interesting to see if that one gets reported to the stewards. I think if you've got a fresh set of medium tyres, especially if you're Poland or Svetkov or Sam Corby, I think you come in, do a lap on the softs, and then come in for a set of fresh medium tyres as well. But although Poland actually decides to carry on, and so does Pedrino and Svetkov, Sam Corby comes into the pits. He's decided that he's had enough of them, and Pookie and Villacampa also coming into the pits as well. I'm not sure what tyres Villacampa will be going on here. He might have to go for a set of hards because he also started on a set of the medium tyres. In fact, he's serving his time penalty and getting a front wing change. I'm surprised Poland and Svetkov stayed out on track there. I've got to be perfectly honest with you. Sam Corby has gone out on a second set of the mediums, so that's an interesting call.
Could we have rain? Could we see rain at Zandvoort, which we didn't get in PTF1 because we have been cleared for the rest of the season? Only time will tell. I haven't seen it rain around Zandvoort in real life. I believe last year it was nice and sunny around Zandvoort as well, so it's kind of replicating the weather we're seeing there as well. But I think people are starting to make more mistakes because don't forget about the sunlight as well. You kind of miss your braking zones quite quickly as well, which is probably why Jack West lost as well through turn 4, and that's why people tend to lose quite a bit of pace there as well. So that's probably why a few people got some front wing damage as well. But I don't think Jordan Poland would want to go onto the hard tyres. I think he wants to stick to the soft strategy. I do believe you can go onto the soft tyres lap 24 onwards, potentially lap 23 if you're lucky, but not before because that can't get to the end. But it's going to be a tough call. If there's no more safety cars, their strategy's pretty much screwed. But if there's rain, they've got to hold on for dear life here at the moment. Let's know your prediction in the chat, guys. Who you think is going to win? Is there going to be rain? Is there not going to be rain? At the moment, it doesn't look like it. And, I thought Ruben Pedrino was doing a dummy there, but he's not. He is not boxed. He's staying out. Of course he will stay out. He's on the medium compounded tyres. And everyone has served their 5-second penalty that they should have done, which is good news, which means no one has got track limit penalties as well. We got another person that's left the session, Norbert Jakob as well. Hopefully we can try and get him. Oh, no, he's retired. Okay, he retired earlier on. My bad. But, yeah, still 17 drivers left in this session as well, and no time penalties from any of them.
Yeah, that is quite impressive. It's not a circuit you see loads of time penalties on just because of the track limits. The good old-fashioned track limits around here. You don't hear a lot of arguments about track limits when you put grass and gravel and walls on the edge. Funnily enough, all the drivers somehow manage to stay on the tarmac and in between the white lines when you do stuff like that. Jordan Poland was doing his best Lewis Hamilton impression there, coming through turn number 3, almost overtaking the Aston Martin safety car. He clearly wants them to get a move on at the moment, and unsurprisingly, because his tyre temperatures will be plummeting, and the lack of tread that is now on those mediums mean it's going to be really hard for them to get back up to temperature once the safety car comes in. So, yeah, I think he's going to have a bit of a struggle holding on to the lead of this race. And Pedrino, he'll be hoping to get this moved on as soon as possible and then obviously strike his way up the field. And there we go. Safety car is in this lap. It's up to Jordan Poland. He went very late last time around, did the former PSF1 race winner. We'll see whether he tries something different here.
Former PSF1 race winner, Pro Exhibition qualifier from yesterday, of course. And he, to be honest, for most of these guys, they have moved to PC full-time now after doing PS Challenges. So they don't have to worry about console anymore. They can focus on the PC side completely. Let's see what he could do with the safety car restart. He's doing it again. He's leaving it later. But will he leave it earlier than last time? We will have to wait and see. Is he going to go now? He does not. He almost caught William Pedrino out as well. He's almost caught everybody else. They make their way towards turn number 1. Svetkov actually got past William Pedrino there into turn 1 as well. Carter Lundy could take advantage of that. Simon Pirelli, don't forget, had a brilliant safety car restart last time. We got yellow flags again in all 3 sectors. I wonder what's happened there. There's probably a few people that have gone off the circuit. Bukin is trying to go around the outside of Soka. They're up into 7th place. We've got, I think, 2 cars fighting behind. That is Luke Smith and Svetkov fighting. As we got a few more disconnections as well. So, Yeah, people seem to be struggling out there. As I was seeing, I think Jonah Martin just dropped. There's battles going everywhere, heading towards turn number 9 now. As Luke Smith trying to get past the cars that are on the same similar strategy as him, and also trying to get past Svetkov as well. But still, crucially, Jordan Pinen is still leading. Impressive performance from him.
Yeah, he is. I've seen the yellow flag happen before. It's a bit of a thing that sometimes unfortunately happens on the F1 game, and Pedreno and Villacampa decided to just go for it, go for the overtakes, take the 5-second penalty, knowing that they'll be able to get that removed as long as they don't have to come into the pits again. If there's any rain in this race, or if they get another safety car and they decide to come into the pits, they'll have to serve that 5-second penalty, and that will prove to be quite a costly decision as Tarabukin now works his way down the inside of Svetkov, who's trying to hold on. Duncan Hoffman's obviously disconnected. Hopefully he's able to rejoin. Max Wiesel's into the pits again. I swear he had a front wing change after the first safety car. He's had one after the second. He's probably thinking these safety cars aren't too safe for him at this moment in time. Jonah Martins was all over the back of Jacques Laverty there. The two Ferrari customer teams, Haas versus Alfa Romeo, fighting on the run down towards turn number 7. And it is Laverty who stays ahead for now. It was a very sneaky restart from Jordan Poland. He waited until a moment where Pedreno went for it, realised he had to back off, and that was when Poland went for it, and that just seemed to cause all havoc happening behind. As long as you don't accelerate and brake aggressively, you are allowed to do that. It was in Poland's prerogative to control that restart, and I didn't see too much wrong with that. He has got himself a bit of a lead at the moment. What that restart has done has brought Lundy, Smith, Perenier and Tarabukin right on the back of Pedreno.
Yes, indeed, and I think we're starting to see more people making a few more mistakes, which will allow these top 6 to really start to give everybody else a run for their money then, and also everyone has saved a bit of ERS as well. Let's see if Soko could get the move past Svetkov into turn number 1. He does not as well. Svetkov is on 6-lap older tyres compared to Soko, so not much of a difference, but sometimes little differences can make a big difference and towards the end of the race as well, and in terms of pit stop strategy too. So we'll run through your order then. Jordan Poland leads, Varun Pedreno in second, Carter Lundy in P3 as they make their way towards turn number 7 at the moment. Luke Smith in 4th position at the moment, still ahead of his championship rival Simon Peregni. Andre Tarabukin in 6th, Svetkov in 7th. He's still yet to stop, as well as Jordan Poland, by the way. Soko in 8th, Jack Laverty in 9th, Jonah Martins in 10th. Now we got Pookie doing well just outside the point as well, on a similar strategy to Sam Corby in 12th, Villacampa 13th, Yost having a day to forget in 14th, Ryan Jacobs obviously disconnected, Max Wiesel in 16th, Duncan Hoffman is unfortunately disconnected as well. So that is your order so far. Now Carter Lundy is probably close to Luke Smith, but Peregni is close enough to Luke Smith as well. So we'll see what he can do towards turn number 1. Can he get it on the inside? No, he could not. So those two having to fight head to toe at the moment, but we can see the two Ferrari powered cars fighting once again in turn number 1. Jonah Martins gets back on the Haas driver of Prekinen, so Jonah Martins stays in 10th position, and now in a Haas sandwich once again. I don't think he would be doing that, and it's great to see Haas doing very well in real life for the moment. Didn't score any points last season in real life. They've scored pretty much triple the points they got last season, which is great to see. I wonder if we see something similar here at the moment as well. Don't forget the dirty air will play a factor around this track, unlike in real life. It is in equal performance though as well. That's probably why they can go even more closer than the 2021 cars in real life as well. No one is going to make a move. DRS is enabled though. The DRS train is growing. Who is going to blink first? We shall see. And when will Jordan Poland make his next pit stop? Lap 24 will be the possible guess, I reckon.
Yeah, I think he's going to try and drag it. Maybe another 5 or 6 laps, then put on the set of the soft tyres. The field is still fairly bunched together, so he'll catch up to them exceptionally quickly. He's then going to find things difficult when he tries to make moves later on, as there comes Soku past Svetkov, the Williams driver, just running low on the ERS, as is the McLaren. As Jess has already mentioned, it is extremely difficult to harvest around this circuit because of the lack of real heavy braking zones. I wasn't too surprised to see Pookie attacking Jonah Martins on the previous lap. The Haas driver in 11th place is the lead car out of those that pitted under the second safety car, so he has got a bit of a tyre advantage around those ahead of him. This is a very standard Zandvoort race though at the moment. It is exceptionally difficult to overtake around here. We're at the halfway point. Not really seen too many on-track overtakes that haven't been done because of a clear tyre advantage. or just done in the early stages and the first few laps after safety cars, where all hell seems to be broken loose. And you're in Poland, he's doing a good job at the moment. He's keeping that gap to around 6-7 tenths of a second. So Poland doing a very good job on that set of medium tyres. But I still think another 3 or 4 laps, he'll be coming in for a set of the softs. And with the field as bunched up as it is, you might find it difficult to make some moves.
Yes, I think Duncan is looking for an invite to the lobby as well. So hopefully he can join back soon. If you can send him an invite, that will be great. But we're on lap 20 at the moment. Still Jordan Pilot not budging at the moment, but Ruben Pedreño is edging ever closer. So I think he's found a little bit more tyre advantage right now. He's probably saving a bit of tyre grip, knowing that he won't get to the end. Another yellow flag then for Jonah Martins this time. I think he's stuck on the pit exit almost. And did he get damaged? It's hard to get damaged, but I think it's too weedy to lose it there. Luckily, he's ghosted with, I think, one of the Aston Martins past his car as well as the Mercedes and the McLaren there. So, yes, he was down. He was in a really good 10th position. He gained quite a few positions from the start. And now he's in a dismal P15. So easy to lose it there as well. Let's hope he can continue till the end of this race. But he's going to lose such a bit of grip with his tyres. It's probably very, very hot. He may just wait a few extra laps to go onto a set of softs, I reckon, and try and push the fastest lap.
Yeah, he might have to try something different now. Such a shame for Jonah. He was having a fantastic race after obviously having that incident in qualifying with Carter Lundy, a game one that of the stewards might want to have a look at. But with that front wing damage, he's going to drop down to the back of the order. And again, the safety cars have really bunched his field up, so it is going to be pretty difficult for him as they all close up towards turn number 1, spread out again in that sort of accordion effect. And it is there's a bit of a split in the field now. Jack Laverty, I think because of that spin for Jonah Martins, is all of a sudden a long way off the DRS. And Sam Corby's now managed to get himself ahead of Istvan Pukki as well.
Yeah, I think Istvan Pukki is doing a brilliant job at the moment in 10th position, as we're starting to see Svetkov in, Jonah Martins in for probably the soft tyres, and not really that surprising at the moment. Hopefully that should get to the end of this race. I think people are starting to push a bit more. They've saved their tyres within this latest safety car period, and they're now going to go all guns are blazing to try and get this race win here. Ruben Pedreño has got a penalty though, so at the moment, if things stay as they are, Carter Lundy could win his first ever PC F2 race of his career. Don't forget he was in F3 at the start of this season. Proved us very, very well by dominating the F3 Championship. Then got moved to PC F2, then did a race last night in F1. Unfortunately, he didn't go quite well towards the end of that race. So really tonight is about redemption for him, and he really is showing his redemption and worth here in F2. Is Pukki once again trying to go the long way round once again past Sam Corby into turn 3, and he makes a move. Stick, get on my son, says Pukki, and he's up into 9th place. He's doing ever so well. Maybe he's been saving his tyres to get into the right temperature, because he's going to close up to his teammate now. If the guys in front of him struggle on tyre grip, Pukki could be on the shout for even higher than 9th position here. He's doing a stellar job.
Yeah, that was a brilliant move around the outside. Again, a bit of wheel banging that we saw on the exit, which I think we're used to seeing around now. But yeah, great driving there by Pukki to try and get things up. Might get his first points of the season, of course, as a reserve driver at the moment. I know Pedreño has that 5-second penalty, but I will be gobsmacked if that does not get removed. So I'd say he's still in a very good position to take a victory for McLaren. I think everyone thought now that Ron Harvard moved up a division, that might be the end of McLaren taking race victories here in PCF2, but it seems like Pedreño is going to follow in his footsteps. But once we see Jordan Poland come into the pits, of course, Carter Lundy is looking very racy behind the back of that McLaren, so it won't surprise me if he gets some moves done. As there goes Pukki on those fresher medium tyres. He's up into 8th, past Jack Laverty. We'll see if he can get onto the back of this lead train.
I think he's playing the alternate strategy, you know. It looked, we thought that he was on, obviously, the soft tyre mode as well, because he's on in much more grip compared to everybody else. But he's not on the softs, he's on the mediums. He's like Lightning McQueen or Buzz Lightyear to infinity or beyond or something like that. But I don't want to think of any more catchphrases at the moment. But I think the more people start to push, the more Pukki will be brought back into contention. But let's jump back to the front for the battle for the net race lead. Jordan Pilot will be coming into the pit in the next lap or two. So that will release Ruben and Carter and Luke and Simon Bregli and Tara Buchan to fight for the lead. Technically, Soko is in the battle for this race lead as well, still in this DRS train as well. We'll see the gap, Pookie, start to come down between himself and Soko. You never know. I'm watching Carter Lundy's ERS levels. He's doing pretty decent at the moment with his ERS. Same with Ruben Virgenio. I guess they weren't involved in so many battles, so they were able to harvest just a little bit more and recharge their energy storage. Jordan Poland once again staying out, so surely will be next lap as Oscar Villacampa has been pressured by, I think, Joost for the time being, as well as Oscar Villacampa has dropped down into 11. But Joost, touched the back of Oscar Villacampa, looked like, on the entry of the turn 4. So he's lost a bit more ground for the home favourite at the moment. But he did say to me a couple of weeks ago, he doesn't practice too much for the races. He does have challenges, but from next week, there's no challenges. So his main focus will be PSGL until obviously the Pro Exhibition starts. To be honest, I don't know when that starts, to be honest. Probably like June, July, August time. But until then, he could just focus on PSGL, no problem. And probably get better results as the rest of the season is to come at the moment. So Jordan Poland then going towards the final few corners. Is he going to come in? Surely he is. If not, maybe the next lap as well, as the Delta, the game decided to get rid of the Delta. Thank you very much, Game Not. As Jordan Poland stays out again. I wonder if he wants to try and increase that DRS train to bring a lot of people back into contention, I reckon.
Yeah, he's in that sort of situation now, of course, where he's hoping there's a safety car. He's hoping there's something happens in this race. Otherwise, he's not going to have a lot of chances of getting a good result. Joost Noordijk comes into the pits. That's another front wing. That's another set of the soft tyres. It has really been a disastrous race for the Mercedes, with Duncan's disconnection, of course, and Joost having quite a few problems in this race. Luke Smith almost alongside Carter Lundy there into turn 7. Over the last few laps, Smith has been getting a lot closer through the back of that Aston Martin. I would not count this Alpine driver out just yet. He's really having to force Carter take some different lines here. Lundy having to go very defensive into turn number 10. Will that compromise him enough on the exit? No, Luke Smith not able to get a good run, and then Lundy just pulling away once he gets for DRS off the back of Pedreno. So that's going to be an intriguing one at the moment. Smith, I think, realising that now might be the opportunity to make some moves on Carter Lundy before Poland comes into the pits.
Yes, although they really got to get the moves ASAP, really, because Ruben Virginia will have more clear air compared to, obviously, everybody else once Jordan Poland pits. And speaking of Jordan Poland, he goes into the pits and soft tyres he goes until the end of this race. I think the praying of a safety car, unfortunately, is not going to happen, and that is Ruben Virginia, your net race leader. But looking at penalties then, he's got a 5-second time penalty. I wonder if that will get removed or if it will just be in the pit lane penalty. We'll need to double check at the end of the race as well. But if it was a safety car penalty, it may get removed. We'll see. But that's why Carter Lundy has still got to fight as if there's no 5-second penalty under Ruben Virginia's name, because if it does get removed, then the potential win that he's got under his belt may fall by the wayside a little bit. So he's really got to fight for every fibre at the moment as we head towards the final third of this race. Again, no moves. I wonder if we're going to see what we saw in Jeddah, waiting for the DRS opportunity to present itself, and then someone potentially going for the move. I think Luke Smith seems to be the closest, heading towards the final corner, but again, he's just not quite close enough at the moment in these hotter conditions around Zandvoort, near the beach, of course. So, no, he can't get past yet. Anyone else edging for a move? No, they're just not budging right now. Yeah, it looks like it's going to stay like this for a very long time. I think it'll just take one person to make a mistake for other people just to do overtakes, I reckon. I think that's what this race has turned into here in F2.
Yeah, the front four are doing very well on their ERS management as well. They're all up and above the 70-80% point, whereas Temabukin and Soku are a bit further back, as I just saw Perenier touch the inside curb at turn number 7 and just about get away with that one. Had a bit of a slide on, but thankfully for him, no major damage done. This is where we'll see how well the drivers have been doing, not only on the ERS management, what we've talked about, but their tyre management as well. Yes, there's been some safety cars, which has made things a bit easier for these drivers to get these mediums the 30 laps they are going to need to. But they're still going to be pretty second best by the end of this race. Whether that's going to give Pookie and Sam Corby a chance to catch up, I don't know. They're not gonna win this race, but they certainly might be able to get a bit closer to the back of Tarabukin and Soku especially. I'm not surprised no one's really going for it at the moment, because then everything would just swap round towards the end. Soku might think about one on the inside of the Alpine, but in the end, just a bit too far back for the move on this occasion. They're all playing it wise at the moment. They're all playing it very tactically, waiting until the final couple of laps. You don't want to show your hand too early. If you go deep and make a mistake, if, for example, if Cartalundi sends one on Pedreno and gets it wrong, he could drop down to 6th.
Or, worst comes to worst, he could have a spin or an incident and could be out of the race. And getting second place, or even third, is a lot better than DNFing or not getting into the points as well, because as George Russell likes to say, consistency is key, and that's what gets you championships. That's what's seen quite a few people not getting any wins in the season, but getting a lot of second and third places, helping them to score well at the moment. And with obviously Thomas Ronhaar in PCF1 full-time, plenty of opportunities for people to get their first win of the season. And I think obviously P1 and P2, they haven't won a race yet. Luke Smith won a race at Jeddah as well, and quite a very convincing win as well. Probably my favourite races I've commentating on for a long time, and some great moves from Luke Smith that race actually as well. But he can't get past Cartalundi though just yet. Again, playing the waiting game, which is so wise to do, I have to say, at the moment. And it's heading towards the final 6 laps of this race. Time for your predictions now. Let us know who you think is going to be winning this race. Everyone has made their stops. Is it going to be the top 6? Is it going to be Pookie, Corby? Could they get back into this as well? Will the soft runners be able to catch up? We don't know. The Delaware is not as big around here compared to other tracks, so we don't know. But let us know your thoughts, who you think is going to win. We may just read the best, we may just read your predictions live on air with just a couple of laps to go. As Cartalundi, he was almost catching up to Ruben Pedreno, but Ruben Pedreno has a lot of ERS to use, but he's gone a bit too deep, Ruben Pedreno. This could be Cartalundi's chance.
Yeah, it could be. I was about to say, Pedreno doing a better job of managing his ERS than any of the 5 drivers behind him, considering he's the only one without the drag reduction system down towards turn 1, down towards 11 and 12. That is very impressive indeed from Pedreno. Cartalundi is a bit closer this time, but I think, again, not really close enough to send one down the inside unless you are feeling incredibly brave. As Sam Corby comes into the pits, he must have picked up some damage somewhere as the Red Bull driver. He was in a pretty good place, looking like he might get some points, and it is soft tyres going on his car, maybe just trying something different on this occasion. But yeah, Sam Corby, can only imagine he picked up front wing damage that led him to come into the pits. Such a shame for him, as it did look like he was going to get some points. It looks like Pedreno is going to take the win here at the moment. It looks like he, again, I do believe he will get that 5-second penalty removed, as it happened during the yellow flag glitch that we had. Likewise with Via Campus. So Pedreno doing a good job at the moment, and I kind of hope for Cartalundi's sake that he realises that Pedreno's penalty might get removed, because if he stays behind here, he could leave tonight thinking, oh, I've got a victory, and then have it snatched off him by the stewards.
Because that's absolutely harsh to lose a race victory like that. So many things have happened where you lose a podium in PCF2 a few times this season, and Cartalundi obviously had that feeling that, oh, you got a podium at Jeddah, then it got taken away with being so close on the line, and he's got to get the move done now, and he's going to try and go for the move done now, heading towards turn number 1, and look who's joined the party. It is Luke Smith. Cartalundi takes a long way round, and this is what he was looking for. Cartalundi is now your race leader. He must be following our stream like a book here at the moment. I wonder if Ruben Pedreno is struggling a little bit, heading towards turn 5, 6 and 7, because Luke Smith is right on the back of him. So is Simon Pregny as well. This could be an interesting fight, but Cartalundi was committed as well. He just didn't wait, went for the move, maybe too soon, but, you know, you got to think about it at some point. He's not going to have any DRS though, so he's got to push for Ruben Pedreno to make sure Ruben Pedreno stays ahead of him, but we will see. Let's watch Ruben Pedreno at the moment. Cartalundi has got to take a decent line into the Audi S. He clips the curb a little bit, but he's giving Ruben Pedreno a bit more time. We may see a ding-dong battle between these two as we head towards this banking here, towards the start of lap 32. Very, very soon as well. And when was the last time we see those two fight? I think Ruben Pedreño could get Carter Lundy here on this start-finish straight. We'll see then. Down towards turn number 1. Carter Lundy closes the door there. So, at the moment, looks like Carter Lundy does what he needed to do. But Ruben Pedreño could not give up. Same with Luke Smith. Technically, the top 6 could still win this race.
I don't think Pedreño opened his DRS down the main straight there. I don't think he had any intention of going for the overtake. Wasn't using his DRS as well. He's nearly up to a full 100% battery, which is not something you see around here too often. But yeah, Pedreño choosing not to go for the move. I was about to say if they'd have swapped every lap at that point, Pedreño could have taken the victory. Now if they swap every lap, Carter Lundy would end up leading at the end of lap 36. So I don't know whether Pedreño's going to go for the move this time around as well. Luke Smith, he's in this awkward position. Your third car in a DRS train. You've always got to try and think about something different. Tried to go and follow Carter to get past Pedreño the lap before. Didn't work. We've seen a few drivers, Smith included, go for the move into turn number 10, but I think Pedreño's a bit too wise for that one on this occasion. He's used up a lot more DRS than Pedreño, but he's nowhere near clipping at the moment. And on this occasion, the McLaren is opening his DRS, and I think is going to go for the move. Carter Lundy is going to half defend that one. Round the outside, he's going to try and hold it, but Pedreño, I think, has just about got enough of his car ahead to take the lead of this race. It is getting very touch and go between the two of them. I wouldn't be surprised if Luke Smith's able to take advantage of this. There's contact between Lundy and Pedreño, and Luke Smith says thank you very much, and Pedreño nearly getting involved in this as well, and Lundy, Smith almost ended up on the grass there. Pedreño is still involved in this. He's on the inside. We're nearly going 3 wide into turn number 7. Lundy's round. Carter Lundy in the gravel trap, and what looked like a possible victory. He's all the way down in 7th.
Wow, we said that earlier. P2, P3 is better than P7 or crashing out, and Carter Lundy went for a spin there, but it looked like 3 or 4 cars there were fighting for the race victory at one corner as well, and some corners that you were unlikely going to get the overtake as well. Carter Lundy must be absolutely fuming, but he's just got to make sure and concentrate that he gets some points now. But it is now Luke Smith's chance to think, hang on, I could get this race victory as well. He's got less DRS though. Is he going to go for the move? I don't think Ruben Pedreño is using his DRS. He's not, but he's still going for it anyway. Ruben Pedreño has no DRS anyway, because obviously he doesn't, due to him having no cars being within 1 second in front of him at the moment. But I'm just trying to see. I think Luke Smith is using the tactic of going for it maybe on the penultimate lap as well. And I think we had some comments in the chat where people are thinking that Ruben Pedreño seems to be doing what Jarno Wotmir did as well, where he took the race victory last night in PCF1. I believe it's his 5th in a row as well, which I have to say is quite incredible as well. Maybe Ruben Pedreño watched that stream. I think he was racing actually, Ruben Pedreño, but maybe he was watching the stream back and seeing what Jarno Wotmir did and thinking, hang on, I potentially want to do the same here.
I mean, if you're going to learn from someone, Jarno Wotmir is a pretty decent driver to learn from. Let's be honest, 5 wins in a row in PSGL F1, has won 3 PSGL titles, 2 times F1 Pro Series champion. He's definitely a good driver to try and be inspired from and follow at the moment. Ruben Pedreño not following anyone though, as we enter the penultimate lap of the race. It looks like Luke Smith's a bit further behind here, and I wonder whether Simon Perenier is going to be able to think about a move. Pedreño very late to defend to the inside, and again, Luke Smith's going to have to be forced the long way round, can't quite get alongside, and Perenier can't either. So those front 3 still fighting tooth and nail at the moment. Tarabukin and Soku might be doing the best thing here, just stay about half a second behind, and if there's any carnage that happens up in front, they might be ghosted by the time you reach them.
Yeah, exactly, and Soko's still trying to get a move done on Andre Tarabukin as well. Duncan Hoffland pit once again for a start. The wonder if it's his AI, it may just be himself. I don't know, but we are going to concentrate on this battle for the win, and we've got Shoko in the chat thinking Luke Smith is going to win. And if anyone else has any other thoughts on who they think is going to win, I'm not going to predict here at Zambol, because anything can happen. Last time I predicted someone for the win, they binned it on the first lap. So, yeah, I'm not going to say anything more. But Joost Noordijk getting a 3-second time penalty, that's not going to help his cause for getting pointed today. Well, he's not going to get points anyway from where he is. Ruben Pedreño is pulling away ever so slightly, and this could mean he could get the race win that he is looking for. Final lap of this race is Ruben Pedreño versus Luke Smith versus Simon Peregni for a chance to either get their first or second win. Ruben Pedreño's first, Simon Peregni and Luke Smith could be the one that create history here in PCF2 and try to close in on this championship. Don't forget, P1 gets 16 points. P2 is actually quite close as well, so we'll have to wait and see if they head towards turn number 7 for the final time. Really, I think this is Ruben Pedreño's to lose. Ruben Pedreño's penalty will be removed, I think. But at the moment, on track, it looks like, due to penalties, Luke Smith will take the victory here. But can Peregni go for that final move? Doesn't look like it. I think they'll prefer just to get some points rather than just fighting and taking risks for the race victory here. Yeah, it looks like it at the moment. And I wonder if those two are thinking that Ruben Pedreño's penalty can be removed or not. So we'll see then. Ruben Pedreño comes towards the final few corners. He is going to be winning on track at least. Will his 5-second penalties get removed? Well, we'll find out very, very soon. But for now, provisionally, it is Luke Smith that wins. Simon Peregni in second. Tara Buchan in third. Soko in fourth. Pedreño will drop down to fifth due to his penalty. Pookie in sixth place, I have to say. Good result on his debut as reserve driver. Filling in for Danny Lusing tonight. Carlton Lundy in 7th, Jack Laverty in 9th, 8th, Jordan Pine in good recovery tonight, and Villa Camper is your final point scorer in 10th. 30 laps on those mediums. If I was a driver racing around Zandvoort, I don't think I can get those tyres to the end there, but these guys managed to do it as well. But Ruben Pedreño seemed to be the star there if he gets his 5-second penalty removed. And my game's just crashed as soon as the race finished. Lovely. So I think you will need to screenshot the results and go through the results, actually.
Well, I think I might need to screenshot the results right now, because you're not the only person whose game's crashed, if I'm being,
right.
being honest with you. I think everyone's has gone, but thankfully I should be able to just get a nice little screenshot of the results and go through them for everyone. This is, I believe Jack Laverty did get a penalty as well, and in fact my entire PC now looks like it's almost about to head off, unfortunately, but we will be able to get those up just towards the end of the stream then to see what the results were. Remember, these are provisional before we get any penalties, of course. Before we get any penalties removal, it was Luke Smith who took the provisional victory. Peregni in second, Tarabuki in third, Soku in fourth, Pedreño in fifth, but we think he might get that removed to finish in first place. Pookie, Carter Lundy, Jacques Laverty, Jordan Poland, Oscar Villacampa, another one with a 5-second penalty that is likely to get removed. Then Sam Corby, Max Wiesel, Joost Noordijk, Vadim Svetkov, Ryan Jacobs, Jonah Martins, Duncan Hoffland, the final finisher, Jack West, Paris Burrell, and Norbert Jacob were the 3 retirements.
I have asked the drivers to screenshot the results for us, or they may have a little bit of a stream going on. If someone else has got a stream going on, then maybe they're able to do that as well. So we will say, yay, thank you to one of the drivers for doing so as well. So we have got most of the results, which is good. So that will help both us and the stewards when they apply potential penalties or not. So we are going to be getting our drivers in for post-race interviews as well. Of course, it's not mandatory, but before we do that, Luke, who is your driver of the day?
I'm gonna go for the boring choice. Sorry to be that type of person. If it wasn't for that incident he'd have had halfway through the race, which really ruined his chances, I would have gone for Jonah Martins, because he was doing an absolutely fantastic job. But Ruben Pedreño just controlled it from the front of the race. Expert ERS management meant that after the one chance Luke Smith had to get close, no one really did afterwards.
Yeah, Jonah Martins, I think up until that point he crashed, I think did very, very well. But I have to say, Simon Peregni doing very well from getting from 10th to 2nd just shows how he's a formidable force in this championship. You don't need the good qualifying pace sometimes if you're Simon Peregni. And he shows he can compete against the best of the best in PCF1. So watch out for him for the rest of this as well. So we will wait to see as well. So we'll go through the calendar whilst we wait for the drivers to go in for their interview. So obviously this week we were at Zandvoort. Next week we head to Brazil. What track that's going to be? Usually hosts our season finale, but it's going to be hosting round 10 of the championship on the 7th of April. And then on the 14th of April we have got Mexico. Then we've got Singapore on the 21st. 28th of April we've got United States. And then we've got quite a bit of a break week between United States and Imola. And then we've got Bahrain to round up the season. Is anyone going to come? Doesn't look like it. So, Luke, any final thoughts before we head off? And any thoughts about Brazil, which is going to be the track for next week for our F2 drivers?
Yeah, Brazil, it's always, I think, a fan favourite. It's a brilliant track to see some racing around. Sector 1 and Sector 3, all being about your straight line speed and, of course, that very twisty middle sector. If you get held up by traffic in there, it can really make a massive difference. And it is Brazil. It is in the rainforest. There's always that possibility of wet weather affecting the drivers as well. Pedreno today just continuing where his former teammate Thomas Ronhar left off. Brilliant performance from Pedreno, and I think things did tighten up in the championship. I'm going to just read you through what the standings are at the moment, assuming that Pedreno does get that 5 seconds removed. And by the way, everyone's going in the chat at the moment. That's pretty likely to happen. So Thomas Ronhar will still be on 92 points. Perenier will be on second on 75 with the effective lead of the championship. But Luke Smith's now closed that gap to just 5 points. And a bad race for Duncan Hoffland means he's dropped behind Ruben Pedreno.
Yeah, as well, due to Ruben Pedreno's fantastic result as well. And, it does look like the penalty will be removed. So luckily Luke Smith and the likes of Andre Jabukin, Soko and Peregni knew about the penalty anyway, so it looks like they weren't left in the dark. So thanks to the drivers, we have got your results up on screen there. So we got your results from P1, so we'll go through them again. We've got Smith, Peregni, Jabukin, Soko, Pedreno, Pookie, Carl Lundy, Jordan Poland, Oscar Villacampa and Sam Crobby will get points today. And everyone else behind maybe felt like they could have got better results this week. So next week around Brazil, on Thursday, I won't be here unfortunately, but King Kodiak will be though, back on his holiday. Hopefully we'll find someone to join him as well. But if you want some more PSGL action around Zandvoort, we of course got some more Sunday tier action on the PS side for the lower assist tiers, and of course we got the Monday night tiers as well from F2, F3, F and F4 on at 7 PM, and of course we got F1, F5, S6 and F8 on at 8 PM, commentated by Luke Etheridge himself and Aidan Carter as well, so make sure you join them both at 8 PM on Monday night. So I've been Jess Bull. Thank you, Luke Etheridge, for standing in for King Kodiak tonight. It's been amazing as always. And we will see you next week for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Have a good evening. Goodbye.